Theresa May spoke to Donald Trump on Tuesday about their country's very different positions on Jerusalem, but it was left unclear whether previous damage to the relationship had been repaired, or whether the president would visit London in February to open the new U.S. embassy. The call between the two leaders came 13 days after May had announced she would speak to Trump about his decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, a position at odds with the policy pursued by London and almost all other UN member states, which argue that the fate of the city should be decided in comprehensive negotiations. Asked if the 2-week delay amounted to a snub by Trump, a spokesman for May said the pair had a good relationship, which included being able to differ on some matters. The Prime Minister has always been clear on these matters that part of having a special relationship is that where there are times you don't agree, you can say so, the spokesman said. However, there is still no agreement on a Trump visit to the UK, which had been postponed because of fears that it would trigger mass demonstrations. British officials say that ultimately Trump will have to decide whether to make the trip, given that large-scale demonstrations against him are planned, and that it would not be possible to stage-manage a visit to London, unlike during Trump's previous trips to Riyadh, Jerusalem, Warsaw and Beijing. The U.S. ambassador to the UK, Woody Johnson, a personal friend of Trump, said last week he expected the president to visit London in the new year, raising expectations that he would fly in to open a new $800 million embassy complex in Battersea on the south bank of the Thames. However, neither the Downing Street nor the White House account of Monday's call mentioned a presidential visit. A later statement from Downing Street said that May had offered condolences for Monday's train crash in Washington state and that they had discussed the different positions we took on the recognition of Jerusalem as the Israeli capital, and agreed on the importance of the U.S. bringing forward new proposals for peace and the international community supporting these efforts. The issue of Jerusalem has isolated Washington from almost all its allies, and forced a rare U.S. veto of a UN Security Council resolution on Monday, when the 14 other Council members, including the UK, voted to call for the U.S. recognition of its status as Israeli capital be rescinded. The vote drew a bitter response from the U.S. envoy to the UN, Nikki Haley, who described it as an insult, adding, "It won't be forgotten." In an official transcript of her remarks issued on Tuesday, however, the line about the vote not being forgotten was left out. The White House account of the president's conversation with May did not mention Jerusalem. The open rift over Jerusalem followed a sharp exchange between May and Trump after the president retweeted Islamophobic videos circulated by the extreme right Britain First group, which was banned from Twitter this week. The Prime Minister publicly rebuked Trump, saying he had been wrong to share the videos, which drew a sour tweeted riposte from the president telling her not to focus on him but what was happening in the UK.